Hello, friend. You're welcome to this discussion. I discovered that a good number of friends do not know how to organize mathematical equations in MS Word. And that is why some people will just type their mathematical equations, especially in their projects or paper writing, in a way that will disorganized if someone utters what they have done. And so I want to quickly show you how to do this in a way that we remain intact even if there are alterations in the work. So what I will do quickly is very simple. I'll open MS Word and show you equations that are copied as image and then walk you through on how to put these equations into these images into equations that are editable. Okay, so quickly follow me as I open this Microsoft Word. This is a basic Microsoft document, and there are different things on this Microsoft document. And one of them is what we call a menu bar here. Okay, and in this menu bar, there is a section called Insert. So I'll quickly show you what is in Insert. All right, I'll quickly show you what is in Insert. Okay, and this is basically what we find in Insert. And our key interest is on symbol and equation. This is a typical equation that is an image I copied online, and this has to do with simple regression. By the way, simple regression is basically used in econometrics analysis and other things that may require regression analysis, trying to find the effect of an independent variable on a dependent variable. But setting up this equation, most people will quickly want to type it this way: y is equal to b, then 0 plus another b, this is b is basically beta, then x plus u. Okay, plus u. But this is not basically what this equation requires. Okay, those who know a little more, we want to put subscripts here. I highlighted the O, then I get to home, and then under home, you see where we have font, and then I click the subscripts. All right, so this is basically what most people will do, and then also put this as subscript. And then this mu that looks like you, maybe they will put it in italics and thinking that a good job has been done. No, but this is not just it. And then when it has to do with quadratic, let's assume there is 2 here. Somebody can highlight that 2 and put it in superscripts. Okay, and put it in superscripts. All right, but this is not the best approach to it. There is equation format. One of them is what we call symbol. Let's go back to that insert again. It says symbol here. In this symbol, so I can actually type my y equal to, instead of using b, because the symbol there is actually beta, not b, I will click on beta. You see beta here. I'll click on beta. It's actually a Greek word. Okay, then I could put O plus another beta. I can copy the previous one, or I insert another beta, and then 1 x, all right, and then plus. The mu sign is there. I can see them because I've used them often, so they are here showing often used symbols. So this is mu. You see, it's not just your ordinary u. So I click on it. So that's fine. But this is just one aspect of it. Then I could now put the O in subscript and the 1 in subscript. Okay. So this looks more like what equation we are looking for. But this is not just the best. There is an equation editor in MS Word, which I want to quickly pull out and use it to show you how to do this. So let's go back to Insert. And under Insert, you come here, and on top here, you see equation. So I click on equation. There are some basic format of equations that are specified as default in the system, but this is not what I want to use, not any of them. So there, so I had to click insert new equation. So I click on it. Meanwhile, my cursor is where I want the equation to be. New equation, it gives me this new equation. Now with this new equation comes up some symbols here I can quickly use. Okay, beautiful. So the next thing I could do is to start typing things inside this equation. Now I click inside the equation and start typing, and the first thing I want to type is my y. All right, that is y, and then equal to my beta is also in that symbol. I could click on the symbol here to look for beta. If I've used it often, it will show up. So you see this is beta. I click on beta, and then that's beta 0. Now, but instead of just putting beta, this my beta have subscript. Let me put a symbol that can house the subscript, and that symbol can be found somewhere around here. It says superscript and fraction, then radical and integral. Okay, large operators and all of that. So let me go under script here. So I click on this script. There is a symbol there. This symbol could stand for superscript, but I'm looking for subscript. So I click on this, and that gives me the subscript. Okay, the subscript. Now I've clicked on it. You see it's stated there. So I now go in here in the bigger part and include my beta. And then under the subscript point, I'll just type 0. That gives me beta 0. I could put a space with my arrow, okay, and put plus. Then I can copy this and put the next one, beta 2. But let's just follow the same method. Here I click on script. I click on subscript. You see the other format, you know, for integration and all of that. So I click on subscript here. Then I move the cursor to the bigger part and include my beta. Then I now include 1. Okay. Then plus. My mu is somewhere here. Mu, not just u. I'll check through the symbols. If the symbols are missing, if you click on somewhere here, double click on it, the symbols will show. Okay, so I quickly look for that mu. My mu is somewhere here. You see beta and other symbols. You see summation. Summation is also here, you know. So I click on my mu, and that gives me the equation. So this is far better. This is better than what we had. I can actually move this around my work. Anywhere I want to place it, this equation can be there. Okay? And it goes together as an equation. I could click on this way to make modification and all of that. So this is basically what this regression equation looks like. Let me show you another equation. So this time I may be a bit faster, because we may want to treat something that has to do with fraction. Beautiful. This is the slope of your regression. The slope of your regression. This is actually how to calculate beta 1. That A is equal to all of this, and beta 2 is B is equal to all of this. So we'll take them one after the other. So let's do for the first one, A. To do for the first one, what do we do? Now you join me. You go to insert, right? Okay. You click on equation. Okay. You click on equation and then insert new equation. Beautiful. So I type my A, a small letter. I put space and equal to. Now, what do we do? You see there is a fraction here. So I'll quickly put a symbol that can house the upper and the lower part of this fraction. And where do we find it? We'll find it here. So I click on this fraction. You see different kinds of fraction. If I want it to be like as it is here, I'll put it this way. If I want it to be slant, I'll put it this way. If I want it to, you quickly decide the format you need. So let's take the first one. You know, we take the first one. So now I put it, it has appeared there. So in this symbol now, on the upper part, I can put what is on the upper part of this equation. And one of the things there, the first thing there is your sigma. Sigma, a kind of summation. So I could quickly put ordinary sigma there because there is nothing running from somewhere to somewhere in terms of large operations. So let me look for the symbol sigma somewhere here. Okay. I hope I find it. Have you seen it? If you see it before me, say yes, I've seen it. All right. Now it's not there. What do we do? I will click the larger part. Okay. And look for it. Now, oh, beautiful. I can also get it from somewhere here. Look at this large operation. You see, my sigma is somewhere here. Okay, so I click on that sigma. If I click on it, it has allowed me room to add what is expected in front, that summation y. Then I'll use arrow key, right, to move a little step forward out of that y, and then add the next sign. If I didn't move out of that box, it will be carrying it along, and that is not what I want. So I move out of that to put my minus sign. Okay. Now that is carrying them all together. Okay, is carrying them all together. Now I may just decide to copy and drop it that way. I just copy it and paste that symbol. So I put my minus sign, and then there is b in front. I'll put b, and then change my x to x. There are so many ways around this. Then under what is under, I'll put my n. So that becomes the equation of the slope of intercepts. Okay, that is my slope a, which we often call beta 0. All right. To do the next thing, I can use the same format. Okay. Now let me do for b. Of course, I can actually edit this to get what I want. If you already have a formula, you can edit it to get what you want, because editing this could be easier for me. But let's start afresh. Let me insert equation. All right, new equation. Then my b equal to. Now I'll quickly also select fraction. Now I've selected fraction. You see, inside this fraction, if I wanted to split like I did here, I combined what is on top here. The numerator and denominator. Now, if I wanted to just create that space from the beginning, when I click on what is on top, because I need this, I could put another symbol that will house it. Okay? But permit me to run it as it is. I will quickly insert. What do I need to insert? I go to that summation. What do I insert? I will insert this. Okay. So what do we do? Now I've inserted that. I can copy this, duplicate it here. It says 2. Then I'll begin to include what I need to include in there. There is n there outside it. That is here. And then my xy is there. Then my minus sign, right? Are we together? Oh, beautiful. There is a parenthesis there. I could copy this. I will copy this so that I could put my parenthesis somewhere here. Bracket, right? Then we have x there. That is x. I'll step out of that x to close that bracket. Okay. And then I will paste what I had copied earlier and put my y. So these things are very simple to handle. Now this next one is interesting. Okay. So I could put my n, then open the bracket, include the summation. I'd actually copied it, so Ctrl V will drop it for me. But inside this, I have x raised to power 2. Instead of just typing x, I will go for the script here. Then select subscripts. Inside of that particular one, You see, there is subscript there. So when I put x, then in the superscript, I put 2 there. A little shift out of it, I'll close the bracket. Then I can also highlight and copy, put minus sign, drop what I copied. Oh, and then you see this other one. Now dropping it wouldn't give me exactly this, because the superscript, the raised to power 2, is outside the bracket. So what I would do is to get a superscript is inside the superscript. I will drop that thing, including the bracket. So here I click on superscript, you see, and then I will drop all of that in the box. So it gives me that x, but my x is still carrying the superscript. I can decide to delete it and put ordinary x there. Then outside, we now have the superscript 2. So this gives me that equation I'm looking for. Okay? So this is the 2 equations we needed to do. And I can move it anywhere I want to move it, and it remains intact. Do we do another one? I'm sure you're enjoying this. So let me show you another one in case there are other things. Okay, this is basically quadratic equation format. I'm sure you already know how to do what we call superscripts. This is the first one is simplest to do. A x raised to power 2. So I will move. Well, if I don't want to put them in equation, I can type them straight, because it doesn't have much to disturb. But the key one is the second one, the equation of x, and that is my interest now. So let's go for that one. Equation, insert new equation. Then your x, that is capital X, right? X is equal to, now what do we do? Our fraction. Are you there? I'm sure you're enjoying this. So the fraction, we put it there, and what next? In that fraction, we quickly put minus b, right? Plus or minus. Some people run into trouble trying to handle plus or minus. Just go to that your insert, go to symbol. You would say plus or minus somewhere. Let's click all. It's even here, up here, right? Good, great, beautiful. Plus or minus. Then the square roots. Okay, you look for that symbol too. You see the symbol for square root. I'll quickly click on it and then put in my b raised to power 2. You know how to get b raised to power 2 again? Okay, b raised to power 2. Now you are looking for that symbol again. Okay, if I double click on this or click on the arrow here, it will show me all of those things I was using. So now they're activated. I'll quickly click what? The superscript form, so that I can put b with raised to power 2 there, right? Beautiful. Then with arrow right, I move away from the box so I can put my minus. Otherwise, the minus will be like a superscript, and that is not what I want. Then 4 plus 4ac, right? Beautiful. And then the denominator is very simple, 2a. And that gives me my quadratic equation. So it's better to use this for your project than trying to type some of those things you type and you are using line to draw on Microsoft. I mean, that is an archaic format. The world has far moved away from that format. Okay? So beautiful. Now, you are wondering why this is not stretched up. I can actually stretch it in that way. You know, if I want to stretch it that way, I can actually do that. Okay? All right. So, if I want to stretch it that way, under here, I can decide to do something. Okay, see what I do here. This is my B. I copy this and drop it here, right? So I still have that my B. So I put my minus 4AC. Then I'll delete the rest. Check it out. And then, sorry, that's Nigerian slangs. So that is it. Okay, so this is my quadratic equation, right? What else do you want us to do so that you'll be happy with this lesson? Is there anyone you are thinking I'm missing? Oh, correlation, because you use it in your project. Let me show you correlation. This is not also difficult. I'm sure you already know what to do here. So what do? You insert your equation. Let's do this quickly. If that makes you happy. I click on equation. Is that? Okay. So go to insert again. I click on the arrow. If I click on the equation, it will just show me all of that thing. Okay, but let me click on that arrow to show me those options. Oh, because I've not dropped I was still highlighting on the image, so it wasn't showing. So you don't make that mistake. Put your cursor where you want it to be so that it becomes easier for you to do that. So new equation, right? R is for your correlation, equal to. So what do? We go to fraction, right? Beautiful. I'm happy you are there. You know, a lot of secondary school teachers and even undergraduate students and postgraduate students don't know how to do this, but I'm sure you have learned it, so you won't be like them anymore. And that is my joy on this channel, adding value to your life, to your career, and all of that. Okay, so if you appreciate this, please share with some other friends. Freely have you received, freely give, says the Holy Scripture. So that's it there. So I've put the fraction there. So what do? The one on top is easier. Okay, so we'll quickly put an n, open a bracket, right? And then pick our sigma from where the sigma is. Sigma, all right? Beautiful. We can close that bracket. And then we can include our x and y inside there. All right. You know what I can do? I can also do a copy from there. So minus, I'll paste Ctrl V. I will edit that by removing y. Okay. Y. And then what do? I paste again Ctrl V and edit by removing x. And that gives me what is on top. Then what is below is also simple. Remember how we did the other one? Now it's asking for square root. So where do you get your square root? It's simple too. See it here? Okay, so I click on that arrow and look for what gives me. You know, if it has something outside, you click. So since it doesn't have anything outside the square root, so I click on this, right? Beautiful. Then I open that bracket, that the parenthesis there. You know, because there are sub brackets inside. So I'm using that to cover it. So I put it there, right? Then n. We quickly put our sigma. Are you there? Great, good to know you are there. Then inside this my sigma, I need to put subscript. So I put the arrow back and click on scripts. So I put superscripts. And that gives me something beautiful where I can put my x raised to power 2. And that is my x, then power 2, right? Beautiful. I'll move away from there. Okay, now you see this, the square root runs all through. So what I would do is to place math here. I want to select all of this so that I can paste inside. I decided to paste it at the back. So I have already what I had before. Then I'll put my minus sign. But you see, this other one has the superscript inside. Okay, so this my sigma need to go inside. So what do? I move my cursor away with space, then pick this superscript and put it there. Then I'll paste that my sigma inside. Do I do that? Okay. So I paste it inside because I'm trying to get this, okay? But my x there doesn't have raised to power. So I will put the x, I'll move my arrow and put the x in front of the sigma and delete all of that. Then I can close that bracket and close this bracket here, okay, and put raised to power 2. All right, beautiful. Then a little step away, I'll close that other parenthesis. So that's giving me the first badge. The second badge is also simple. I will copy all of these and drop it there and modify. But when you are modifying, be careful not to run into the trouble of copy and paste challenge where you don't do all the editing you need to do. And so what is there is my y as against x. So I put my y. But this y is raised to power 2. So that was too fast. I just put the y first before I delete the x, so that I won't delete all of that. Okay, I think that is fine. And the next one is the same thing. So I'll put y there and delete this. So that has given me my correlation equation. I can use this on my project and it will look so fantastic. You can actually expand it, right? You can expand what you have there. If I highlight all of that and expand, of course, to expand in most cases, you can change the font from font whatever you are to a bigger font, okay? Or I use I hold Control Shift and then press what you use as parentheses, okay? And that will expand it. So that is my correlation coefficient. I think I'm fine here. Or you want something else? You want something else? Let me scroll down. Oh, sample size. I see you are using a primary data and you are trying to find how to do sample size. This is the simplest if you have followed us up till now. It's just that it has fraction in fraction. Okay? So you see, this is fraction, and then there is a bigger fraction. It's simple. So just insert. What do? Insert your equation and type what is there, sample size. Okay? I love primary data analysis, and that is why I didn't want to skip this. So what's the next thing? You quickly put the fraction, which will be like the bigger fraction. Beautiful. Then on top, you also put another fraction. So I highlighted this one. You see, those symbols are missing here, so I'll click the arrow here to bring them out. Okay? Then I click this back, and then the fraction, I put another fraction inside that fraction. Okay? Now, by the lower case, there is something outside the fraction. So I'll put that thing first before I put another fraction. What is that thing? 1 plus before fraction. I just put a space there and then put fraction. Fraction. Is that okay? So now we can easily modify what we need to modify. Let's start from the first one. We have z raised to power 2. So you quickly get to script and use superscript to add that z. Okay? Z. Okay? Which comes from your statistical table. And then raised to power 2. Then multiplication, you use your asterisk. Okay? Then your p, which has to do with population, open a bracket, 1 minus the population accuracy, 1 minus also your p. You close the bracket. I've got the upper part. The lower part, I have superscript to add there. I'll quickly click on superscript so I can put my e, your margin of error, and then add raised to power 2. And I'm done with the first part. And the second part is also simple. And it looks very much like this side. Looks very much like what we have here. But since I already have, okay, I can even copy what is on top here and bring it here and edit. What do we need to do? Z raised to power 2 times p. Oh, there's nothing to edit on top. Okay, but below we have something to edit. So I can copy the down one and also put it here and edit by adding n. Beautiful. I'm done with that. Okay? I'm sure you appreciate this we are doing. If I highlight all of that, I can change the font size, home, click on font, whichever font I want, I'll put it there. So when you do sample size, it looks so neat. So next time, make sure you use this format. Let me check whether there is the last one. Oh, this is another format. This is the simplest. You do this. I won't do it for you. Okay? You want to do it? Or you want me to? Okay, let me just finish it. So that will be the end of this tutorial. Okay, if you have enjoyed what I've done so far, make sure you subscribe to this channel and make sure you share it with other friends across different institutions. Let's share this knowledge. The more we share, the more we retain what we have. Insert. Okay, and then equation, that arrow. new equation, n. Now this n has subscripts. So instead of just typing n here, I'll quickly come to script here and pick the one that has subscripts. You see, so I can put n, then O as my subscript, 0. Move with arrow right and then plus. Then I'll now put the fraction. Okay, the fraction is there. And in the first part, in the upper part, I have superscript there. So I quickly add that superscript so that it will give me my z raised to power 2. Move with arrow key right, asterisk p, asterisk, open a bracket, minus, that's proportion, right? Great. Okay. 1 minus that p. Then the downside, we have also superscript, we add it there. All right. I can see you are clapping, but if you want to clap for me, clap for me. Just put a comment on this page and tell me how much you appreciate this simple skill you've acquired going through this channel. So that's it. So this is all I need. So look for any equation and try your hand on it and tell me how much you were able to grab what we have done. Okay, and next time anybody is doing any project and they just type equation, you know, the way they type it, let me show you an example of what people do sometimes. Somebody will come, you want to type equation, you say n0 equal to, okay, then they will now type z2, okay, asterisk p. If you do this again in your next work, I will not be happy with you. You know, I need you to show a level of professionalism in what you are doing. Okay, open a bracket, 1 minus p. Okay, then they will now put divide. All right, e raised to power 2. Okay, if they are skillful enough, they will put superscript. If they are not, they will leave it that way. You know, so this is how a lot of people will type their equation, and this can be so confusing. Please don't try it next time. So we even want to now say insert, they will carry line. They will just put this one here, put space. Okay, let's say the, okay, so this is okay, this is lowercase of n. Okay, you now see them, they will now use arrow, they will use space bar, move this one here, and then now come and carry line, say insert. Where is insert? Where, okay, let's pick something here, insert shape. They'll use this arrow and come and place it this way and say this is equation. If I see you do this kind of thing next time, I will not be happy with you. If I'm the one appraising or evaluating that paper, I will return it back to you to do the needful. Thank you very much, by the way, for joining in this discussion. My name remains Dr. Marco Achukwu-Jide. This channel actually does a lot in terms of building skill in research, building skill in career, encouraging people on how to get scholarship outside the country, and then inspiring people in life, in relationship, and in marriage. So this is all about me. That is why the channel looks a bit, diversified, because it's what I do. So it represents me as a person. Thank you for following on this channel. Subscribe if you have not, and God bless you. Cheers.